Objective is to assess and model an electric vehicle or hybrid electric vehicle in quantitative and qualitative assessments, and what are the drawbacks and failures and how to overcome this. This we are going to see in this, the fundamentals of reliability engineering, modeling of electric vehicle, hybrid electric vehicle for reliability indices, assessment of hybrid electric vehicle for reliability, and what are the conclusions. We'll see that little bit references. So what we know that majorly reliability is the probability of a device or a system performing its function adequately under stated operating conditions in a specified period. So if you see that device which I am considering together as an electric vehicle as a device which contains so many systems like inverter system, transmission system, and then charging system, battery, like that. Many systems are there. So whether they are functioning adequately or not, when they are functioning adequately, what are their what are their challenges, issues which are occur during the operating condition, how it to be overcome. So it can be expressed in a qualitative and quantitative environment. So the major single word statement is measure of a chance. How we are going to make my electric vehicle success, how we are going to make my electric vehicle as a failure, based on the number of successes or a number of possible outcomes, number of failures or a number of possible outcomes. How to analyze this? So since my electric vehicle is a random in nature, so therefore it has got many processes and many procedures. So this is a complex system which has to be performed sometimes unions and sometimes intersections as an elementary process or as an elementary event. So which has been characterized as a random process, as I told you in earlier. So why we need to go for reliability? To increase the automation process, to assess highly complex systems, and to estimate the high cost of failures and repairs of the electric vehicles or hybrid electric vehicles, and what are their profitable conditions, and what are their operating abilities that we can able to see, what is that their demand for the quality of the product, how we can increase the quality of the product, and what are the additional features that we can able to add it into the next generation of electric vehicles. And at the same time, how to reduce overall maintenance cost, and at the same time, how to reduce travel, how to increase the travel distances so that the overall cost of the society or overall cost of the transportation system may reduce, and to make some of optimization of resources where it is needed possible. So need, it may be an old concept but new discipline. People's becomes older and people thinks that reliable when they lived up to their expectations, and otherwise they becomes unreliable. So therefore a person may be reliable in the world, never or hardly ever fail to deliver what he had promised, but normally it is not possible, but to some extent. So If I am taking an example, a reliable watch would be keeping the time day after day, and their expectations to judge reliable and to have a related performance of some functions or duty. So like we see that in olden days, we call it as HMT watch, which becomes more reliable. Now we can see that Titan watch became more reliable. Now we can see that the smart watches becomes more reliable. So when we consider all these things, so need to identify the intended fails and repeated trials has to be considered. And this has to be measurable quantities in engineering applications, in engineering applications. So when I'm going to assess, what are the things which I can able to assess? One is past assessment, another one is future assessment. What is the past assessment which we can see, especially in future transportation system? What are the weaknesses which we have identified, especially with the help of fossil fuels, where we can see that cost of the transportation becomes very large, especially on an average now modern days, 10 to 12 rupees per kilometer has been chargeable. It becomes very difficult and challenging for a common man to afford. And what are the difficulties of that automobile fuel vehicle? Similarly, what are the weaknesses which are being present in the existing transportation system? And chronological trends in the reliability performances can be observed. Able to identify and estimate the existing reliability indices can serve as a guidance for future assessments. The past predictions can be compared with the actual predictions which are occurred at present, and these quantities can change during the time of design and as well as at the time of operating conditions. What are the changes has to be noticed? These data may makes the past assessment for the future benefit. The future benefit which you can able to see that system future behavior, how it can be predicted, and what will be the future transportation, what are the benefits, and what are the alternative designs and reinforcements, expansion plans, which can be easily analyzed of a complex system with a qualitative and quantitative manner, so that it becomes more effective and it becomes an alternative for transportation, alternative operational transportation system with with the proper maintenance policies can be studied. So which also makes us most cost benefit, and it be feasible for the society, and it will be feasible for the society. So here, one more thing which we have to see, that planning of the reliability, which has to be done in two levels, short-term planning and long-term planning. When I am considering long-term planning, incorporating of redundancies, and what are the various methods which influence the improvement of reliability, how I need to assess for long system planning. Just a second. Sorry, inconvenience because it's a college. No, students will come and go. So, what are the parameters which need to be considered and need to be involved? Personally, comment on the engineering manufacturings, drawbacks in the designs, and able to attend new designs, early meetings, early advice, design improvements, probably in-depth analysis with the proper suggestions, probably taking the feedback of previous consumers, and what are the various difficulties, challenges, issues, which makes the reliability personnel involved for a better design, for a better planning. So in that perspective, what are the parameters which we are going to identify as one, weaknesses in designs, operating conditions, configurations, approaches, and corrective actions. What are the redundancies which we have to do? What are the various testing practices, maintenance activities? This all makes better planning of the reliability. And at the same time, we can able to make commercially cheaper. So short-term planning may be considered for day-to-day operations, and what are their disturbances occurred which are to be evaluated. Some of them are outages and interruptions. It may consist of repairable components or repairable states during the effective functioning of component and system. An outage describes the state of component, outages and interruptions. Two important concepts, outage and interruption. Outage means it is a failure. Interruption means it becomes a break. Again, it will be rectified, and it will be make it as a functioning, intended to function. So where duration of the failure is less, whereas in outage, where component will be completely failed. Outage may be classified by its effect due to the wear out condition, or it may be due to the heating effect or thermal effect, or it may be state of the component, or it may be failure in the any of the parameters. Outage classification by cause. So what are the causes can affect? Due to the human error, or due to the operational error, or equipment functioning. So some of the forced outages during the operating conditions due to the this is due to the flashover, or due to the component failure or component outage, which may be replaced or which may not be replaced in some applications. Interruption classification by cause. So this is been named as scheduled interruption. As we know that fossil fuel vehicles has to be regularly maintained, that is cleaning of air filter, fuel filters, and then maintaining the air levels of wheels, where we need to force and we need to make an interrupt, and we need to schedule it, and we need to come into the activation. So sometimes it may be momentary interruption, or it may be sometimes longer interruption. As we know that an electric vehicle may be categorized into a bathtub curve, one of the most fundamental aspect in the reliability engineering, where lambda T is the failure characteristics, which has been classified into three parts: burn-in time, useful life, wear out condition. If you consider any component or system, initially it may function very effectively with lesser failures, but when you use over a longer period, due to the wear out conditions, failures increased. So therefore, you can see that here, the dotted line which I have shown here, over a period of time, increases the failures. But some of the electric vehicles or electronic gadgets or components, they possess some initial failures. Later, slowly it reduces the failures. over a period of time. You can see that which is represented as a smaller dotted line. Once component base became functioning correctly and regularly, where you can able to see that the failures are constant. When I considered here during the burn-in period, you can see that here failures are decreasing. During the wear out period, failures are increasing. During the useful life period, failures are constant. So therefore, since it is in random in nature, there will be two types of variables which are existing in reliability engineering: continuous random variable, discontinuous random variable. So in continuous random variable, it will be called as probability mass function, probability density function, cumulative density function, which will be considered in two distributions. One is binomial distribution, other one is Poisson distribution. So where you can able to see that probability mass function, which has been represented as P of x, whose mean value is NP, when N is the number of trials, P is the probability of the component, whose variance is NPQ, where Q is the success, P is the failure of the component. Similarly, an exponential distribution, as we know that the reliability function is defined as the probability of a component or system which is functioning over an intended period of time under stated operating conditions adequately. So which can be expressed as probability of t greater than t. If you see that any new component or new vehicle whose reliability is initially at 1, whose reliability at t is equals to infinite condition, which is 0, which appears as a failure, probability of failure. Probability of failure. So here the relation between cumulative probability and probability density function and reliability function, where you can see that the reliability function whose reliability is getting decreased for a period of time, whereas cumulative distribution function is increased. So probability density or distribution function, where you can see that it will be an area of 1. So here we are going to define 3 parameters: mean time to failure, mean time between failure, T median, T mode. T mode is the maximum probability density of the function. T median is a 50% time period of the probability density function. Mean time to failure, mean time to repair are other variables. So one more important parameter which is to be considered here, failure rate or hazard rate, which is also basically depends upon the reliability of the system. So therefore, lambda of t is a failure rate or instantaneous hazard rate, which is defined as the ratio between probability density function to the reliability function. It may increase or it may decrease or it may constant, depends upon the useful period of the component or system. So once the failures are constant, that will be characterized as exponential distribution. When increasing and decreasing, they will be characterized as different distributions. So it becomes a measure. So these are all again same. How to calculate probability MTTF, how to calculate probability density function. As I've already told you that types of failures, distributions, constant failure distribution, which is named it as exponential distribution, time dependent failure distributions. Time dependent distributions are variable, log normal, normal distributions. So you can see that exponential distribution whose mathematical representation where failures are to be considered as a constant during the useful period. This computation, this assessment makes accurate and it becomes more correctly. Here I have considered some of the failure rates of the electric vehicles. Electric vehicles. 0.25 lambda value, lambda is equals to 1, lambda is equals to 5. With the failure rates, lambda, failures per year is 0.25, where we can able to see that reliability of the component becomes very large. If the failures are becomes 1, 1. So that depends upon operating conditions, operating scenarios of the electric vehicle. Electric vehicle. So these lambdas will be considered based on the data which we are going to collect. Lambda value is equals to 0.25 for the period of which I have considered here 6 hours. 6 hours. So their lambda value is 0.25, which may vary less for a new vehicle. When it becomes 1, it's an assumption, it's a trial based, where you can see that probability is getting decreased much later. If the failures are getting more, lambda becomes 5, where you can see that reliability is getting decreased even much lesser. Much lesser. Then cumulative distribution, you can see that just reverse of that. As the lambda value is less, cumulative failure distributions are also lesser. As we know that capital F of t is equals to 1 minus R of t. So based on that, the lambda values are changed. Cumulative distributions are gets increased. And you can see that probability density function, especially you see that lambda value of 0.25, lambda value of 1, lambda value of 5. So when you see that still there is an operating scenario exists when lambda values, whereas the number of failures are increased, you can see that it becomes very quick to get operating failures, very quick to operating failures. Whereas if it is 1, where you can able to see that the operating levels are getting increased. So in this constant failure distribution, if we have a number of failures are less or failure rates are less, we can enhance the reliability of the component. Next, I'm going for another one, viable distribution, which is one of the most important probability distribution. It composed of both increasing and decreasing failure rates. It can be characterized into two different formats. One is lambda of t is equal to a t power beta, where a and b greater than 0, then it becomes increasing failure rate. If a is greater than 0, b is less than 0, then it becomes decreasing failure rate. So this is what which you have to see that. So therefore, other form of the viable distribution, lambda of t is equals to beta by theta. It may be called it as theta or alpha, whatever it may be, depends on some requirements. H of t is nothing but failure rate or hazard rate, where beta is named it as shape parameter, theta or alpha is called it as scale parameters, whose mathematical representations, which you can able to see that based on the previous definitions, previous derivations, f of t, capital F of t, R of t can be determined. Here beta and alpha are the important parameters to identify the nature of the component or nature of the system when we are assessing or when we are assessing qualitative and quantitative assessments for any typical application. Here I have taken for electric vehicle. The previous one, which I have taken as lambda, constant failure rate. Here you see that two parameters which I have considered. One is shape, another one is scale. So you can see that effect of scale parameter theta, which I am changing 1200, 2400, 4800. So you can see that the operating hours is also increased. As the theta value gets increased, you can see that hazard rates are getting reduced. Hazard rates are getting reduced. Whereas theta values are smaller and smaller, where you can able to see that smaller and smaller, the hazard rates are also becomes decreasing and hazard rates are increasing. I can say that hazard rates are increasing and the operating period is also reduced. Operating period is also reduced. So we have to see that the scale parameter, the theta should be as large as possible so that number of operating hours gets increased. So you can see that same cumulative distribution of the hazard rate function. Same theta I'm taking here, where you can see that, as theta becomes smaller and smaller, the reliability functions are getting changed. From this, we can see that as theta becomes represented in a nominal manner, a nominal value, where you can able to identify that the operating hours are gets increased and cumulative operating functioning also gets increased. So variable distribution. Similarly, you see that probability density function, where we can able to see that theta changes from 1200 to 48,000. So when it is changed to theta, so probability of density, you see that operating area, operating time is gets increased. Operating time is increased. Here I've taken theta as a shape parameter, sorry, theta as a scale parameter, as a variable, shape parameter as a constant, But next, you see that the same thing which I am taking here, probability density function. You can see that area required for lower theta is getting more, area required for higher theta and medium theta becomes lesser. So when you see that, this is the most important. This is the most important. The area covered here becomes large and the performances is also large and it makes better functioning. And now you see that same variable distribution. I'm keeping theta constant, changing the shape parameter. So shape means when you are considering the manufacturing component where size, thermal stability, and at the same time size of the product, capacity of the product, especially for controllers, and especially for chargers. So this place most important. So therefore, as beta value changes from 0.5, 1.5 to 4. So as we see that in and all, the operating period of this shape parameter, which you can see that around nearly 2500 hours. That will be the vertex. So especially you see that lower beta will have a better operating time, higher beta, lesser operating time. This is with respect to reliability function. So this is with respect to hazard rate. You can see that higher beta, higher failure rates, here failures are less. Similarly, cumulative distribution function. Here also you can see that, especially operating hours is 2500. Similarly, probability density function. You see that if you have a lesser beta value, the operating periods are large. Whereas here you see that beta becomes red, though its area becomes large, but failures are more here. Maybe component replacement, component adjustments, component modifications may come into the picture. So similarly here, cumulative distribution function with beta. Now you can see that shape parameter of the components. Another one, log normal distribution, which is one more important distribution for stochastic process of any component or any system. So you can able to see that it can be mathematically expressed. Here T median is median time, especially exactly 50% of the operating time. T is the total operating time. So where I'm changing the parameters A1, A2, A3, A4. I'm not showing here cumulative probability density or hazard rate function. Straight away I'm going for reliability function, where I'm changing the A1, A2, A3 value, A4. You see that the value of A1 becomes larger. The operating hours are very less. Whereas if you see that A4, A value is very less, where you can able to see that it is decreasing. Reliability is decreasing. Whereas in between A2 and A3, where you can see that reliabilities are slowly increasing. When we go to the system, in electric vehicle, many components is existing. It may be connected in series manner, it may be connected in parallel manner, or it may be connected in meshed system. If the components are connected in series, whose reliability can be expressed as a mathematical function. Here in series system, all components function, then system is going to function. If any one component failed, system is not going to be function. System is not going to be function. Similarly, in parallel system, components are connected in parallel. Any one component failed, other components may cause us to function. So therefore, there are mathematical reliability assessments which you can able to see that. Especially in parallel system, they'll not consider system success. They'll consider only system failure. If both components failed, system gets failed. System gets failed. So that is why here they'll consider it as a QS. So parallel system is called failure system. Series system is called success system. So parallel system is called reliable system. Series system is unreliability system. But when we consider my electric vehicle, it may have a combination of components in series or parallel, or it may be connected in complex. The complex system has to be evaluated either in terms of Bayes theorem, path-based approach, or any cut set approach, that is tie set and cut set methods. These are all the techniques which are used in reliability engineering for assessing the complex system. If you see that here major role E. If E has success, then what happens? E has failed, what happens? That is what which you have to see that here. So that can be done either in terms of Bayes theorem or path-based approach, or it may be cut set or tie set method. If I'm saying that Bayes theorem, where you can see that probability of system success or failure when the X component is good, plus probability of system success or failure when X component is bad. So you can see that here. So here, this is the critical component. So here I'm defining. If component E success, what happened? If component E failed, what happened? So if E is success, this will be shorted, and this is connected in parallel, this is connected in parallel. E failed, it will be open, this is connected in series, this is connected in series. Therefore, the complex system will be replaced into a series system or parallel system, depends upon the condition. So that is called Bayes theorem. That is called Bayes theorem. So the methods which are used to assess these complex systems are tie set method and cut set method. How to model reliability system for a typical real-time applications? It has to be characterized or summarized into a list of components and how it is to be assembled, and what are their component failure rates. And at the same time, we should define the criteria for the system failure, and what are the assumptions which we are going to make for constructing a model, and what are the new system models, or what are the system specifications which we need to be considered. Need to perform failure effective analysis, compute the system reliabilities, and need to evaluate the results. As I already told that it becomes a qualitative and quantitative assessments. You see that we need to define the system, list of components, how it has to be assembled, what are its component failure rates, criteria for system failures, and need to construct a model. Is the model called develops the system model as a function as it is operating, as it becomes effectively performed, or else what are their failure effects, and what are their reliability indices which has to be computed, and need to analyze their results, and with the help of evaluate. So here you see that normally a system is characterized into up and down states. Similarly, here I am considering an electric vehicle. Either it may be up or down states. If it is up, it is available. If it is not available, down, then it is called not service, not available. So that means it may goes to a repair. So during the interval time A and B, it was into two. It was in upstate between two failure states, between two successive failure states. The time interval C and D given in below figure, time interval between C and D shows that a down state, it becomes operated between the two upstates. Upstates means operable state, down state means failure states. It has to be calculated what are the mean failure rates, number of failures to the total sum of operating periods, mean repair rate, total number of down state to the total downtime, from which we can calculate probability of up and probability of down. So operable and non-operable times, probability of non-operable times, where R is the repair time, M is the operable time. For a constant failure rate, I am considering here exponential failure rate, which is constant. So in that, I am defining mean time to failure is 1 by lambda, mean time to repair is 1 by mean. Between failures, T is equals to M plus M, that is MTTF plus MTTR. So from that, which we can calculate frequency of failures, lambda mu by lambda plus mu. So frequency of failures. So you can see that it can be characterized by a Markov process, which has got two states, state up and state down. It may state up due to the some self-sufficient problem. It may comes to again up state. So once it goes to down, due to their not proper repair process, it may down to the down states. That is component failure states. Failure states. So how it is being varied, we can see that availability of the component and reliability of the component. If the reliability goes on decreasing, availability gets increased. So here we are defining two parameters, lambda, failure rate and repair rate. Number of failures of component in the given period of time, total period of time the component was operating. Similarly, number of repairs of the component in a given period of time to the total period of time the component was repaired. So it has been characterized as a Markov process for a specified time interval T, T plus delta T, which has been applied into a state diagram and state process, which has been mathematically represented as P of U 0 is equals to 1, P of down is equals to 0 during the initial condition. Whereas during the final conditions, P of up infinity is equals to 0, P of down is equals to 1. So in and large, up and down is equals to 1. So after making so much of mathematical analysis, we are characterizing the P of U, that is up probability of uptime, probability of downtime. Since my component time period is very large, as t tends to infinity, other parts are neglected. P of up is equals to mu by lambda plus mu. P of down is equals to lambda by lambda plus mu. Where up is called availability, down is called failure. Down is called failure. So therefore, R plus Q is equals to 1 from the given system. So these are all the basics of reliability engineering. How I am going to apply, we will see for the next level. So future electric transportation systems. Two are there majorly. One is electric vehicle, another one is hybrid electric vehicle. So both are being used in future to have a sustainable transportation system. Sometimes hybrid electric vehicle may dominate electric vehicle for the better performance. We will see that one. As we know that how we have classified our electric vehicles, all are becomes electric vehicles, hybrid electric vehicle, plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, fuel cell. So when it becomes electric vehicle, it will be driven only with the help of electric power supply, and it will have a zero emission, and it needs to be externally rechargeable. Battery needs an externally rechargeable. Whereas hybrid electric vehicle, it will be driven with IC engine and as well as an electric motor, which have a low emission. Internally, it contains a rechargeable battery. Plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, it contains again IC engine and electric motor, low emission. It requires to have an external rechargeable battery. Fuel cell electric vehicle, it will be powered by fuel cell with zero emission. Only requirement is that it requires a refilled hydrogen tank. So if you see that how conventional electric vehicles, battery electric vehicles, hybrid electric vehicles are model represented, where you can see that four wheels has been shown in a block diagram, whereas a conventional vehicle made it into a movement of the transmission system, fuel tank, engine, transmission system. So fuel will be used to make the combustion of the engine, where the energy developed, which will be applied to the transmission system with the help of cam and connecting rods. They try to push the automobile through diesel engine or petrol pump or diesel pump, which makes rotating the transmission system. Based on what we know, it may be a two-stroke engine or four-stroke engine, whatever it may be, in conventional application. Most of them four-stroke engine with pollution standards like B6, B4, like that. So which becomes a conventional system. Only drawback of the conventional vehicle, it required a fuel which is most costly nowadays. So which we can able to challenging for the future generation or future transportation system. Therefore, it has to be converted or changed into battery-driven electric vehicles, which contains a battery, and internally it may contain a motor generator. The generator will supply the electric energy to the transmission system, and it drives the electric vehicle for the transportation process. Whereas hybrid, it will have a both battery, fuel, motor generator, engine, transmission system. What are the modes? We will see in the next upcoming slides. So you can see that how electric vehicle has been represented. It requires a rechargeable battery and a connecting cables and a controller which is fed to a motor, electric motor, which is directly connected to the transmission system. During the process of forward direction without applying the brake, it becomes movement, movement, a tractive force which tries to move the automobile from one position to one place to another place. When it becomes in a braking condition, it becomes a the regenerative braking system, which will be works as a generator that try to charge the battery during the regenerative braking condition, during the regenerative braking cycles. So if you see that basic step, so here it becomes purely I've shown electric vehicle. Now I'm moving towards the hybrid electric vehicle. Hybrid electric vehicle, you see that it requires a internal combustion engine on front side. On back side, you can see that battery backup, an integrated power electronic device, and a motor. Motor means electric machine with the help of 5 speeds, manual transmission, automated clutch. So once it is connected together, they can become converted into a hybrid electric vehicle. Hybrid electric vehicle. So the model of hybrid electric vehicle, where we can see that it contains a battery, which may be nickel cadmium or lithium ion or a lead acid battery, depends upon the size and capacity of availability. And it requires a generator, and it requires an engine, and it requires a motor. So once you see that power control unit, once the battery becomes an external battery, from the battery through power control circuit, which is being directly fed to the motor, which is connected to the transmission system through gears, which causes movement of the automobile. When I am running with the engine which contains power split device, due to that, which has been excited to run the generator with the help of power control circuit, which supplies the supply to the electric motor to drive the automobile, or it may be used with the help of bidirectional application of the power control unit to charge the battery also. Battery also depends upon the condition. We'll see that what are the modes. So you can see that hybrid vehicles has 2 or more power sources, and there are large number of possible variations. 2 or more power sources. One is battery, another one is generator. Both are being feeding to the battery. So when I'm running the diesel engine, it charges the battery. When there is an empty fuel tank, the battery will supply the energy to drive the vehicle. The most common types of hybrid electric vehicle are combustion internal engine, that is IC engine with a battery and an electric motor with a generator. So there are 2 types of hybrid electric vehicles. One is series hybrid electric vehicle, parallel hybrid electric vehicle. Series hybrid electric vehicle, parallel hybrid electric vehicle. Series hybrid electric, we'll see that architecture also. How to control my hybrid electric vehicle? It requires power electronic components and electric machines, energy storage device, and it also required a regenerative braking system, vehicle modeling and simulation, vehicle design and optimization, vehicle dynamics. Every time I'm telling that thermal management system and control, vehicle control and power management. So here you can see that how series electric vehicle configurations, fuel tank, engine, generator, rectifier, motor, motor controller, and it will be connected to the traction, motor and which is connected to the transmission system, which tries to get tractive effort to move the vehicle forward direction. Whereas you can see that the same fuel engine through generator rectifier with the help of DC to DC converter tries to battery charge. Battery charge also is possible. When there is no fuel during that condition, with the help of external source, you need to connect a battery charger. Charger will get charged and it will be a converted into boost converter from lower voltage to higher voltage, or with the help of boost converter try to feed to the motor controller to the traction motor, which makes the movement of the system. So you can see that sometimes with the help of engine, generator rectifier, battery may charge, or sometimes due to the regenerative braking condition, the battery may get charged. So you see that series hybrid vehicle, battery, inverter, motor, driven wheels. So when it is driven with electric power, when driven with drive power, so that is most important. So it normally becomes a petrol engine, runs as a generator. The generator either charge the battery or it may run the electric motor to drive the transmission system. It becomes low fuel cost and best suited for city transportation system. If you see that 50% is the engine, 50% is the motor. 50% is the motor. So you see that it contains 5 operating modes: pure electric mode, pure engine mode, hybrid mode, engine traction and battery charging mode, regenerative mode, battery charging mode, hybrid battery charging mode. So when it runs purely on electric mode, it will be run with the help of electric power supply. Engine will be turned off. Battery will be supplied the total energy to run. When it is running purely engine mode, it will be a run with a generator and it will charge the battery, nor it will drive the power and makes transmission system driven. That is engine driven. Hybrid mode, it may be a combination of both the generator and battery. So that is the another mode. The other things which you can able to see that engine traction and battery charging mode. The engine generator supplies the power to charge the battery and to propel the vehicle. Regenerative braking, engine generator is turned on, turned off, and the traction motor is operated as a generator. Power generator is used to charge the battery. This is very less period. Battery charging modes, which you can able to see. So you see that how I am modeled here: series hybrid electric vehicle, reservoir, engine, generator, charger, converter, electric motor, and transmission system, battery or a flywheel capacitor. So during the regenerative braking, the same energy may be used for charging of the battery or for a purpose of flywheel. Similarly, parallel hybrid electric driven system, fuel tank, engine, mechanical coupling, mechanical transmission system. The same motor controller, motor, battery charging system. Here you can see that external battery charger is being used. So when it is need to be charged the battery, during the regenerative braking condition only, the battery is going to charge. The motor electric machine will be converted as an electric generator. With the help of motor controller, battery will get charged. So at that time, charger will not function. Battery charger will not function. Parallel hybrid electric vehicle. Sorry. So you can see that parallel hybrid vehicle, it has got both IC engine and electric motor power to transmission the vehicle at same time. Battery powers the motor through inverter, electric motor supplies the petrol engine, which I have already see that here. Most of the functioning through engine only, where the function of electric motor is less. Function of electric motor is less. So you can see that battery charges, inverter, and which is try to connect to the motor generator and will fed back to the transmission system. Whereas the fuel engine is there, engine will run, which is coupled to the motor, which will be work as a generator, and it will be fed back to the charge. So here also you can see that 5 operating modes, motor alone mode, that is what electric vehicle mode, combined power mode, both IC engine as well as motor mode, engine alone mode, purely engine, where state of charge will be identified for the battery and engine will be turned off. Engine alone mode during especially highways crossing at the moderately high power demands. The engine provides all power needed to drive the vehicle. The motor remains in idle. So this is mostly due to the fact that battery state of charge is already at high level. At that condition, we can able to identify power split mode, stationary charging mode, regenerating mode. So in that regenerative mode, the electric motor is operated as a generator to convert the electric vehicle kinetic energy into electric energy, and it will be stored back to the battery or with the help of flywheel, or it may be used for a capacitor also. Now, the regenerative mode is in principally possible to run the engine as well as and to provide additional current to the battery more quickly, and it will be charged quickly and it will give more propulsion. So here you can see that architecture of the hybrid parallel EV. You can see that here same thing. So how you can arrange the parallel hybrid electric vehicle, battery, converter, electric motor, and then reservoir, that is fuel tank, engine. Engine will be connected to the motor. Engine will be connected to the motor through generator, and the motor will drive the vehicle. So parallel hybrid electric vehicles, in parallel hybrid electric vehicle, IC engine work directly through the transmission system to the wheels or one or more electric motors, or sometimes both electric motor and as well as IC engine. In both series and parallel hybrids runs the battery for the charging purpose. So once next you see that series versus parallel. The main disadvantage of series hybrid system is that all electric energy must pass through both generator and the motor. This adds considerably the cost of the such system. Parallel electric machines can much smaller and cheaper as they do have convert of all energies. That is degree of hybridization based on the progression, based on the technology, we may able to provide optimized degree of hybridization. So when you are using electric vehicles, brushless DC motor or permanent synchronous motor or induction motor, or it may require permanent magnet switched reluctance motor. Batteries, you see that lithium ion battery, nickel metal hybrid batteries, lead acid batteries, or ultra capacitors which are used for electric vehicles. So you see that how I am making arrangements for series hybrid system. Here reservoir, engine, generator, charger, converter, electric motor, and a battery is connected in parallel. Here you can see that battery, converter, electric motor, reservoir, engine, coupled system, transmission system, connected to the wheels. Here you can see that it becomes a mechanical link, it becomes hydraulic, and it becomes an electric link here. Whereas series parallel, you can see that these are all connected series, and you can see that it becomes parallel, series parallel. So reservoir, generator, charger, converter, electric motor, engine, when it is connected in parallel combination to drive the transportation system. So what are the various pros and cons of these battery electric vehicles, plug-in electric vehicles, hybrid electric vehicles, conventional electric vehicles? Here you require an internal combustion engine. In here also you can see that the disadvantages mainly I am concentrating. I'm not considering the advantages. Range, long time required to charge by the battery electric vehicle, lesser charging stations, battery management indication is a challenging role. Once the battery gets 40-50 degrees heated up, it becomes very difficult. Plug-in electric vehicle, technology becomes complex. Again, disadvantage is lesser charging station. Whereas hybrid electric vehicle, it will have a tailpipe emissions, oil dependency, and then whereas here conventional vehicle, lower efficiency, engine noise. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yeah. If you see that here, this is a sample case which I have considered. Failure rate of the power converter, failure rate of the electric motor, failure rate of the lead acid battery, failure rate of the nickel cadmium battery, generator, charger, and engine. So if you see that failure rates of the converter is very, very small, whereas nickel cadmium, people talks about lead acid battery is more durability, but nickel cadmium, you see that lesser failure rate compared to the lead acid battery. Whereas mean time to repair, if you see that lead acid battery is lesser, whereas nickel cadmium is, sorry, lead acid battery is more, whereas nickel cadmium battery is lesser. So this is what the challenge. So here the equivalent failure rate for converter and electric motor has been considered. Equivalent failure rate for converter and electric motor, because once converter fails, electric motor will not. Equivalent failure rate for generator and charge. Generator is 0.01825 per year. And similarly, equivalent repair rate of two units which are connected in series, that is series electric vehicle system. And similarly, equivalent repair rate is given by R is equals to 1 by B. So repair rate per year is 8760 hours divided by MTTR. So you see that how I have considered my assumptions. Converter and electric motor are in series as combined as one unit. Similarly, generator and charger is a series as combined as single unit. How it is to be assessed? I'm going back. You see that here. Sorry. Here you can see that generator and charger and engine and reservoir, how it has been considered. Converter and electric motor are in series are combined as one unit. Similarly, generator and charger is in one series as one unit. Finally, four subsystems are considered as assuming all other mechanical elements are reliable. So here this is an assumption we made. All mechanical couplings and mechanical assemblies are becomes highly reliable. They doesn't have any failure. But typically it is not possible. We assume in this analysis we have assumed. So we have used lead acid battery for the present study, though we have connected nickel cadmium battery failure rates, but we have studied only for lead acid battery because mean time to repair is very large, whereas nickel cadmium mean time to repair is lesser. So based on that point, we have considered. So when I considered converter and electric motor as a series, the failure rate is lambda C. MTTR is 81.0. Similarly, generator and charger, lead acid battery, and IC engines. IC engines. So there are here 4 components are there. 4 has to be modeled. When an electric vehicle move, all these 4 has to be function to drive, whether it is success or failure. So therefore, you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4. C, G, L, I. C, G, B, E. B is battery, E is engine, C for converter, C for generator. All became success, it will be operating state. C, G, B, E. When a series, it is completely runs with electric vehicle, engine failed, so it can able to drive. When battery failed, with the help of engine, I can able to drive. When generator failed, battery, engine, I can able to drive. Here onwards, you can see that here, charger failed, generator, charger failed, it doesn't function. Here you can see that battery failed, engine failed, charger, generator function, it doesn't function. So here you can see that charger, especially generator failed, engine failed, battery cannot chargeable, engine is also failed, their mission system has been failed. So therefore, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 are the successful operating states, whereas all other states are failure states. All other are failure states. So this is based on Markov model, when they are connected in series hybrid electric vehicle. So here you see that 4 components, nearly 16 states are appeared. In 16 states, 5 states are being successful. 5 states are successful, all other states are failed states. So this becomes the transition matrix, stochastic transition probability matrix of 16 by 16 matrix. So the transition values, using that stochastic transition probability matrix, as we know that considering all 15 independent equations, alpha is equals to P1 to P16, I am obtaining P1 to P16 states. In that, if you see that P1 to P7 is available, that is 1 to 5 states are available, whose reliability, whose MTTF is 11,198.6 days. Stopping time, if you see that, very small, 113.2 minutes, especially in series hybrid electric vehicle. Next, I am considering here parallel hybrid electric vehicle. Here I am considering converter motor as a one circuit, battery and IC engine as a one circuit. So here you can see that again 5 successful states. So one component has been reduced in parallel hybrid electric vehicle. Operating states are been same, whereas number of failed states are lesser. The same as usual, you can able to see that once here engine is ready, it will function. Here all 3 ready, it will function. Here converter, battery is function, it will function. Converter, engine functions. Converter fails, battery is failed, but battery and engine is success, we can able to make success. So they are 8 by 8 state transition matrix. Sorry. So you can see that stochastic transition probability matrix of that. With the help of 5 states are success and 3 states are failed. So therefore, you can see that here availability is much higher, whereas mean time to failure is 1211.1 days. The operating mean time between failures, operating time is increased here. Operating time is increased. Number of operating days is also increased. Stop time is reduced. If you see that, stop time is reduced here, considering 7 independent equations. Now I am going here, parallel, that is series parallel hybrid system, how it is connected. Here also same. You see that the number of operating states are increased. And the transitions are being marked very clearly. The number of failed states are lesser. So this will be the 16 by 16 transition matrix for the hybrid electric vehicle, both series and parallel combination using their mathematics, simple mathematics, the assessments which we have done for P1 to P16. Here you can see that MTTF is increased.
मेरी इनॉग्रेशन सी मैं इनॉग्रेशन वाला ਤਾਂ ਕਰਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਕਲਾਸ ਵਾਲਾ ਕਰਿਆ ਆ
So mean time to failure days has been increased. Availability compared to the parallel configuration, it is reduced. So therefore, in and all, if we observe, series hybrid electric vehicle got lesser reliability, whereas parallel hybrid electric vehicle has got more reliability and more successful because lesser failure rates where we can able to assess very clearly. So these are all some references which I have used. Thank you. So 1 hour 15 minutes. I've been stopped by 5 minutes early only. Thank you. Anybody have a questions? You can ask them.
I request the participant, if there is any queries, you can unmute yourself and you can ask. I request the participant, if there is any queries, you can unmute yourself and you can ask, sir. Hello, sir.
Hello. Tell me, sir.
Sir, there is some questions given by from our participant, sir.
Tell me, sir.
Sir, in reliability, there is two conditions now, sir. MTTF and MTTR.
Yes, sir.
So at what condition we need to choose the MTTF and MTTR, sir?
When it is in operating condition, it will be MTTF. When
Okay,
it
sir.
is operating condition is MTTF. When it is failure conditions, it will be MTTR.
Okay, sir. And then the Markov two-state system is there now, sir.
Yes.
Why you are preferring Markov two-state system? Why can't we go for three-state or four-state, sir?
2-state or 3-state, we can go, no problem. But combinations will change. That is what the state diagram here. That is what here I have considered. You can see
Okay.
that here the transitions. Markov model of series parallel hybrid electric vehicle.
Sir, some other question also has been received now, just now, sir.
Sir.
Sir, so what is TIE set and what is cut set? So how it will be related with the electric vehicle, sir?
That becomes a completely research idea.
Okay,
Here
sir.
we have used only state transitions, state transitions. When I am going for when I'm going for tie sets and cut sets, we have to apply here. We have to apply based on the component which I am going to consider, whether it is success or failure, based on the component.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay.
If it is a battery, if it is an engine condition, whether engine is functioning, then reliability will change. When the engine is failed, then whether the motor is functioning or not, it will be a cascaded operation.
Okay, sir. Sir, one last question is just now, sir. Why we are using DC source instead of AC? Like that, one participant asked me, sir.
Only because of charging conditions.
Charging condition.
Charging. AC we cannot able to charge.
Okay. Any other question is there from participant? You can message in the chat box, or you can directly unmute yourself and you can ask. Sir, one last question came just now, sir. Sir, which vehicle is suitable for Indian condition and attitude towards driving. Whether it is series, parallel or hybrid, they are asking, sir.
Series parallel hybrid electric vehicle only, sir. Because operating time is more. Operating time is more.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Operating time, mean time to failure is more.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. So, any other question from the participant? You can unmute yourself and you can ask, sir. So, thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable session here by keeping such a tremendous effort to deliver the content on electric transportation system. And this session is very informative for those people who are working in the research area of reliability based electric vehicle applications. Sir. So, thank you once again for your valuable session, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So I request participant to join the session by tomorrow by 10 a.m. So the feedback link will be sent to your mail, those who are participant in the event. So thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.